Good evening, race fans, and welcome back to live iRacing on VirtualRacing.Network. Here we are again tonight. It's Tuesday night for the NORA Cup Series, but we returned to the Texas Motor Speedway. We had so much fun here on Sunday night for the first round of the Icon Cup Series playoffs, and here we are back for NORA Cup Series continuing. Now we're at the round of 12, so brand new round. Some of these drivers have already been eliminated from the championship tonight. We'll be doing 48 laps in the first stage, 96 in the second, and 160 laps overall. It's great to have you all with us here live. I'm Trevor Greenfield, and with me as always here in the booth is none other than team owner in the NORA Cup Series and veteran sim racer Christian Snyder. Christian, what can we look forward to tonight here at Texas?
We can look forward to a very bottom-dominant track tonight. The outside lane not working as well as it's going to, or it was working in Icon. It's a lot hotter out here for the NORA Cup Series, so going to be very bottom dominant as we see qualifying going on right now. Ryan Bird currently top of the board with his one lap, and Ryan Patty now about to set his lap. See where that slots him. There he goes. I believe he's just starting his first lap. But yeah, it's going to be an exciting night for these guys. It's the first round of the playoffs. Texas, you know, it's hit or miss on if people like it or not, especially after the redesign. But former winner here out of me, so I know what it takes to get it done, and that's not what it takes to get it done, getting loose like that.
Well, easy to do, easy to get loose here, and of course, quite a breeze in the air out there tonight, so it'll be interesting to see whether that catches anyone out at any point. But Texas, always tricky. For all these drivers. Dakota Hendrickson just getting in his qualifying lap there. And here's the guy that we really missed, Vincent Arthur for Flatline Motorsports. Back in action here Tuesday night on NORA Cup Series. And let's see what he can do for his qualifying lap. We've got a number of great drivers out there at the moment, including Timmy Harper, Josh Conover just now putting in his first lap, and that is good enough for 8th fastest. Dustin Kleba, winner last week, getting his first lap in, good enough for 3rd fastest. Tom Suncheck now on the board, late Apex teammate to Ryan Bird up there in the 2nd spot. Vincent Arthur just about to put it across the line. And with that, puts it 3rd fastest, displaces Dustin Kleba there at the top. Christian, let's go on board with Ronnie Norman. Maybe talk us through his 2nd lap here around Texas.
Well, they only have one lap of qualifying, but here he comes across the line, and through turns 1 and 2 is just going to be a little bit of letting off, getting down to the bottom, and then 3 and 4, a lot more speed through 3 and 4, but it's going to be bottom dominant down there where you see that darker groove. All the cars are going to want to be down there, but Ronnie puts in a decent lap there, gets 11th out of 22 cars that have qualified so far. He's pretty far back among the guys who are in the playoffs there, only 3 lower than him. But Peyton Tolick, gets loose on the backstretch. Man,
yeah, so
that was a wild one there.
A lot of these drivers continuing on for 2, and now Tulloch on his 3rd lap, just trying to get in some extra laps, but there you can see how quickly it goes from a hooked-up qualifying machine to out of control.
So I think it's loose tonight.
Could very well be loose out there tonight. We'll have to keep our eyes on that. Should be a lot of fun. As always, welcome to everybody joining us live over in our YouTube chat room. Jacob Gladelich saying hello to us over there. We appreciate that. Feel free to say hi if you do check in with us. Give you a little shout out on the air. Let us know who you are watching on the track. And just with that, I believe we are ready to set the grid for tonight's race here at Texas Motor Speedway, the first of the round of 12. As soon as we can get that up there, there we go. On your pole position, one of the championship contenders, Ryan Bird. No surprise whatsoever to see late Apex's Ryan Bird. He's taken several wins here in the NORA Cup Series. He's up there at the top, and right alongside, it'll be comfortable as he'll have his teammate, Tom Senchek, at late Apex Racing in the second row. Vincent Arthur, and alongside of him, Dustin Kleba. In the third row, how about Jacob Malone and Joey Stats? In the fourth row will be Josh Berry, newcomer to the NORA Cup Series. For those of you saying, hey, I recognize that name. Nope, it's a different Josh Berry, Canadian driver, not from the United States. Blade Timmons going to be on the fourth row there outside. Josh Conover will be starting on the fifth row alongside of Ryan Patty. And then it'll be Ronnie Norman starting back in 11th place alongside of Cameron Thompson. Starting just behind that will be Dakota Hendrickson in 13th, and alongside him will be Timmy Harper. Matthew George, one of the championship contenders, alongside of Peyton Tulloch. And then Chad Engel making his return alongside of Todd Slauson. Adam Kulikowski next to Jacob Gladelich. Kyle Rochelle and Dakota Moniz, Everett Couts and Cody Height. And the final final two rows will be Brady Moats with Justin Moody and Nick Geilis. And starting dead last is going to be Jake Christenberry, and looks like he just didn't get in at time, so going to be rough for him to get all the way forward here tonight, past a lot of vehicles, but we've seen crazier things done here at Texas Motor Speedway, that's for sure, Christian.
Yeah, Texas Motor Speedway, man, it's an animal out there. You know, if you get a little bit too high in turns 1 and 2, you kind of get sucked up toward the wall. So these guys are going to have a hard time tonight, and it seems like the track is very, very slick with how much heat is in it. So it's going to be a handful for these guys, but should be a fun one here tonight.
Well, what's the strategy here? Of course, 3 stages here tonight instead of 2 stages as Sunday night with the Icon Cup Series. Are you thinking get out there, get the first couple of stage victories if you can, don't worry about the overall win? Do you think survive until the end? Do you think there might be a lot of carnage tonight?
There might be a couple single car spins, maybe collecting a few others, but I think stages are going to be very important, and we're going to have a pit stop before the end of the first stage, so it's all about when you make that pit stop, because these guys get about 40 to 42 laps on fuel if you save enough, and we got 48 in the first stage, so they will have to pit.
Well, it's going to be exciting. We've got 160 laps to go. We're underway here at Texas Motor Speedway. And Ryan Bird and Tom Senchek march side by side into turn number 1. Vincent Arthur, Dustin Kleba staying side by side there in the second row. Looks like Josh Berry has broken the third row and now sits by himself as some of the drivers start to file in single file. Ryan Bird and Senchek now single file. Vincent Arthur and Dustin Kleba still racing hard for that third position. Going through that tri-oval now, still staying side by side for third. The 2 late Apex teammates decide to go side by side once again. Dustin Kleba sliding up the racetrack. And now everybody's going to file in single file.
Yeah, Kleba definitely doesn't want to be that high in 1 and 2. You could see that he was really struggling to keep it down because of the grip levels up there. So he was lucky to only lose 1 position to Vincent Arthur. But now you see Vincent going to try to work on Tom Senchek there, see if he can get around him for second. But on back, still side by side there. It looks like Conover and Timmons real close together in the corner, side by side.
Definitely some tight racing already here at Texas. I think we're going to see about 15 laps or so on these tires before they start to really show their wear. So you've got a machine that can come forward, you probably want to do it early on. Get that done before the tires really start to show their age, or take care of those tires and start to take advantage of that as some of the tires fall off. Your call. But looking back here, back in 13th place, Engel fighting forward here with Ryan Patty just in front for Full Send Motorsports. Now Engel sliding back one position as Cameron Thompson moves up a spot. How about up in front?
Oh, trouble. Big one.
Just had a big incident.
Oh,
Tulloch
it's Tim Harper.
And Harper has gone on his lid. We've got
terrible crash.
So many cars involved in this one, including this driver right here, Timmy Harper. It looks like his entire front of his machine has been destroyed. Brady Motes, one of the championship drivers, he might have gotten away with this one. Matthew George, another one of the championship drivers, caught up in this one as well. And Ronnie Norman now sits in the pits. And this is This is a huge development here as the whole front end of that machine has been ripped off. Christian, let's go ahead and back this one up as well as we can here. There are so many vehicles involved. I'm not exactly sure who's in the middle of this one, but I suppose it would be ahead of this incident. Let's take a look at Ronnie Norman, because he is going to run into the middle of this.
Oh, you can see, I think that's, yep. Corey Danielson tagged the apron and got loose and then collects Norman. Harper, he goes up and over somebody and then gets hit while he's in the air and just starts tumbling. But luckily this wasn't bigger than it could have been. Only 3 or 4 cars collected, but let's ride on board here with Ronnie Norman and see the 19 in front of him get that apron right about there. Just tags it, gets loose, and just can't catch it. And this hit. Bam.
I believe it's Dakota Hendrickson in the 19. We'll take a look from his perspective and see if we can tell exactly what went down from on board the Capital Motor Club driver. Like you said, a bit of a wiggle there, and quite a few cars taking a ride. Now, this one that's coming up here, there's a couple of drivers that really went on their lid, but this one right here from Tim Harper is going to be one e-ticket ride. So buckle up for this one, folks.
Have to check on his status from the infield care center.
Looks very...
My goodness.
He's not moving in the cockpit there.
He's not moving.
So hopefully he comes out of the infield care center okay. That was a rough hit for Tim Harper. A lot of these drivers choosing to come in there under the yellow and take their first pit stop. How about Ryan Bird, Vincent Arthur, Tom Senchek, Blade Timmons, pretty much everybody from 10th position on backwards coming in, taking their pit stops. And unfortunately, Christian, looks like Ryan Patty also perhaps caught in the middle, or at least he's in the pits right now taking on service. So yeah, he's been in there for 2 minutes now. So
yeah, and that's unfortunate. He had 2 weeks off, wasn't able to run, was excited to be back, and this isn't the type of night that he was expecting, unfortunately.
So Gladelich will head back out. They begin to reform at the front as we're now on the backstretch. But so far, Christian, one small mistake really costing a lot of these drivers. And we look in here, Linda Arthur saying, have a great race, Vinny. Well, welcome to the broadcast, Linda. So great to have you with us here. And Vincent has been entertaining and a top performer here on our VirtualRacing.Network broadcasts. He's been just a pleasure to watch out there on the track, but we'll see whether tonight he can do it. There's a lot of drivers showing some promise here tonight. Dustin Kleba, thanks the bus driver, Cody Reader Music says. Stephen Dombrowski says a hell of a time to join. Indeed, Stephen, he picked one heck of a time to check in there, but hey, we're back underway here. Dustin Kleba and Josh Berry. Now you're 1-2 with Cameron Thompson and Jacob Malone running in 3rd and 4th place. All those drivers from 10th on back choosing to make those pit stops. Vincent Arthur back here now racing with Ryan Bird. Vincent almost driven into by the 55 of Justin Moody, or the 53 rather of Justin Moody.
That was actually the 55 there of Todd Slauson moving up the track. Almost got into him there. But that was a close call. He's got better tires. He's going to drive by Todd Slauson there. You can see Todd dealing with a very tight car.
So they get stacked up a little bit back there. Right now we're seeing the top 3, Kleba, Berry, and Malone, pretty much getting it handled. But here's Chad Engel and Cameron Thompson racing side by side now over the start-finish stripe. And now just ahead, it's Malone, who's taken 2nd place from Josh Berry. Malone that time setting the fastest lap so far of our short race. We've seen some good performances out of Jacob Malone. We've seen him running towards the front. Not really a surprise to see him continue to put in good laps and now move his machine up into 2nd place. But of course, probably a good reason why a lot of these drivers chose to pit is to be in the right place for stage number 1. And these drivers at the front probably will not have the amount of fuel that it takes to make it if we go green till the end.
Yeah, the most you can get by saving under that caution was maybe 2 laps, and you know that's going to be about maybe 43 that they can go. So they should be about 5 laps short. You can see Kleba already starting to save. He's letting off pretty early into the corner. That's going to allow Jacob Malone to get by him there. And now Josh Berry might get by him here in 3 and 4, depending on if Kleba is saving so much.
Berry with a very
really colorful car.
I was just going to say that. Super colorful paint job on that 39
yeah, we saw this on the 19 in the Truck Series last week, I believe, for Capital Motor Club, owned by Corey Danielson. Good to see this team out here in the Cup Series now with 2 cars. This is their first race with 2 cars out there.
Well, will it pay off tonight? It's a possibility. Having more cars, more information sharing for sure. Side by side, Berry and Kleba for that 2nd spot. Looks like Berry at the line, but Kleba still fighting hard. There's Engel just coming into picture. He's going to go to the high line, try and get around Dustin Kleba. Back off and think better of it, but already seeing some really racy situations out here.
Yeah, Chad Engel, he's coming into this round on the outside looking in. He had the lowest amount of bonus points coming into here, so he's got to capitalize as well as he can, getting as many stage points as possible. So good to see him up in the top 5 there.
Seeing a lot of movement here in the middle of the pack. I'm not sure if everything is going all right for Brady Modes, who appears to have...
Something wrong with Todd Slauson there, off the pace.
And Todd as well.
Heavy damage to the right front, it looks like.
I'm seeing that Brady Motes had an off track. Let's see if this has anything to do with it. Let's check this out. This was just a moment ago here for Motes. Oh, and there is Slauson and Motes. Unfortunately, Slauson sliding into Motes, and that's really unfortunate for Motes. Motes, once again, one of the championship drivers. He's pretty much just trying to survive out there, so that explains why those drivers have dropped so far off the pace. Now Slauson continuing to drop down the order. But back up front, it's Jacob Malone continues to drive rapidly, holding on to the top spot, but Josh Berry still within distance that he could strike if there is an issue for Malone. Kleba right there as well, and then you've got Engel, who finally is getting around Cameron Thompson for that 4th position.
Don't look now, but we got fresh tires behind Cameron Thompson there, the 24 of Vincent Arthur in the Pepsi machine. He's made his way back from, I think, 12th on the restart all the way up to 6th now.
Well, we certainly know Linda's watching, and there's her guy in 6th place, moving up through the field. Perhaps Linda's out there drinking a Pepsi or a Red Bull.
Perhaps, yeah.
Got to support your team, you know?
Yeah, I was talking earlier about Capital Motor Club having 2 cars finally over here, but some breaking news for them in the truck series. Sean Briscoe, one of the championship guys who was in that first round, he is done for the rest of the season, unable to race in NORA the rest of the year, so gonna miss him. He had a great run in the truck series, but will not be able to compete the rest of the season.
Well, that is beyond shocking news, and certainly that is some heart-wrenching news, as Briscoe, one of the absolute top drivers in the whole series, to see him bow out. I mean, it's not unheard of, but as Vincent Arthur and Cameron Thompson tangling for that 4th position right now, Thompson on those older tires, Vincent on the newer tires, but that is really unfortunate, because Briscoe never got that win, did he?
No, he was never able to punch that win column in the truck series, but he's punching some wins in the dirt, so that's what he's doing. He's going for the real life dirt racing, not real life, I should say pro on iRacing. So good luck to him in his endeavors over there in the Dirt Pro Series.
Well, good for him, and yep, best of luck, and I'm sure we'll see him back in the NORA fold at some point, but here we go. Still racking through this first stage, and we've got one machine up into the wall on the outside there. I believe that was Peyton Tulloch. It is, but he manages to continue on. That thing is barely running right now. And there he's riding the top. I don't know. Doesn't seem safe to me. I'm not sure if he was trying to get into the pits or not, but maybe just...
I think he was involved in that first accident, and he's just underpowered by a lot. So he's just getting out of everyone's way and letting them go on by. And speaking of going on by, Josh Berry now taking the lead off of Jacob Malone.
Berry makes that pass. This was just a moment ago on the backstretch. Berry gets his opportunity.
Looks like Malone just goes to the top and lets him by here. Just kind of backs out of it and lets him go.
Looks exactly like what happened.
But Vincent Arthur, look at that. 3rd place. He's only 1 second back. Those new tires, man. They're like, what did I call them last week? New shoes?
New shoes.
Yeah. He's got those new kicks on and he's going. Yeah, look at the closing speed that he had coming out of the corner. He's going to easily go by Jacob Malone here through the quad oval. You see some lap traffic up ahead of him, but Chad Engel behind him having a really good run into the corner. Almost overdrove it there.
Well, and that's a perfect example of using a lap car or using somebody who you're passing even as a, the closing rate there for Malone was similar to a lap car even, but using a car to put between yourself and another car, as you saw Malone get really loose there coming off of turn 4. Those new tires on Arthur looking really good as Malone's old tires are failing quickly. Here comes Chad Engel to make that move down to the inside. As
he got really loose.
Malone really struggling. 3 wide down the backstretch into turn 3. We said it before, 3 wide here at Texas, not advisable. They do take it down to 2 wide before they exit the corner.
Close there.
Quite the gaggle as Everett Couts looks on here on the outside of Chad Engel, trying to take over this position for 6th place. It's Cameron Thompson on the inside. Everett Couts now one of those drivers that took new tires up in front. This is Tom Senchek. He's done the same, and when we look at the points in a little bit as well, you'll see that Tom Senchek going to have to do some work to get up into this final group to move on in the playoffs. So he's out there trying hard right now to try to make sure that he can do exactly that.
A guy who doesn't have to do much work for the next round is Vincent Arthur. He's got 67 points ahead of the cutoff line, so all he has to do is have a good finish here and next week, and then he's locked in.
Looked like he was...
But more than likely, he can win this race and just lock himself in.
Well, certainly that's the way to do it if you can, but if not a top finish and walking away knowing that you're going to point your way in, no problem. Again, that's one of the advantages over, say, the regular season, is you know that not enough people can win their way in to knock you out. So it's, oh my goodness me, Vincent Arthur riding that thing off of turn 4 like it's a dirt car. Christian, did you hear the tire squeal on that?
A little bit, yeah. He's giving it everything he's got right now, and we're about 18 laps to the finish of this stage, and those tires are screaming for help.
Well, let me ask you a question. How about this new guy, Josh Berry, coming in for Capital Motor Club, and on old tires being able to set times that are almost equivalent to Vincent Arthur on brand new tires?
Yeah, he's doing a good job in his debut here. He's acting like the real Josh Berry. I say that he is a real Josh Berry, just not the NASCAR driver, but he's acting like him out here. He's doing a fantastic job.
Well, Berry making a name for himself here in the NORA Cup Series. Certainly, this is how you do it, isn't it, Christian? You go out there, you execute well, and the big guys in the league, they're going to turn their heads. They're going to take notice. That is for certain. But Berry continues on in the lead. No problems thus far. Sitting in second, Vincent Arthur, and back here in third, Tom Senchek. Everett Couts picking up the pieces in 4th place. 19 positions for Couts so far. So you wanted to know how far you can come from back in the field. Well, how about in 34 laps, 19 positions? That's pretty substantial stuff. Cameron Thompson, Ryan Bird, Kyle Rochelle up 14 spots. Joey Stats, who's just outside of the playoffs for this round of the playoffs, but there he is running in 8th place, and Blade Timmons just behind that. But Josh Berry very quickly just about to get a call from Vincent Arthur here. That doorbell's ringing, Christian.
It very well is. He's starting to get real close to him, and you got to expect that Barry's going to just move up to the outside, let him by, knowing that he has better tires, and that this isn't really a battle, considering they both have to pit at some point here before the end of the stage in order to get fuel. So don't really need to push the agenda here and battle too much.
Well, Arthur, as you said, right now doesn't really need to push it too much, but he loves to push it. He loves to push that envelope. And we've talked about his season and how it has changed so much. He won early in the season. He looked like it was him and Flatline Motorsports that was going to be dominant, often taking 2, if not sometimes able to take all 3 top positions of the race. But things kind of fell apart a little bit in the middle of the season, and even though he had won his way into the playoffs, he was still racing for wins, but they weren't coming. And then at the end of the season, it was back to victory lane. And again, in the playoffs, able to take victory in the first round. Oh, Barry so loose in front of him. Arthur comes down
and underneath.
He came down and clipped the grass there on the second part of the infield.
Yeah, something you could hear. Oh, wait, are these two going to make contact? They do a little bit. Josh Berry not letting them have this one.
Arthur makes contact with Barry. Barry holds it down on the exit of 2, not willing to just let Vincent Arthur go by, but at the start-finish stripe, it is Vincent Arthur who now officially owns the lead once again.
Tell you what, first impressions are everything, and for the first time Vincent Arthur gets side by side with them. Josh Berry runs him really hard, so now Vincent Arthur for the rest of the season is going to know that that's going to come anytime he's nearby with him.
Certainly, and there's so many different ways you could look at, should you do that, should you not do that? I mean, you don't really have anything to lose if you're Josh Berry other than possibly public opinion. And so, he's coming in here letting people know, hey, I am a hard racer. I'm not going to be a pushover, but at the same time, you might make a couple of friends if you did it a little bit differently. So we are under caution.
This is not the stage.
And no, it is not the stage. So let's see here. It looks like Jacob Malone has crashed.
I see Cody Height in the pits, possibly involved in this one.
Oh, that would be unfortunate for Height. Let's check this out. Here is Malone.
Looks like he's trying to come into the pits, gets sideways, and goes out around. So I think actually Cody Height was already heading toward the pits, and that's maybe why he was there. Yeah, he was already in the pits.
So Cody Height into the pits.
This will probably put him close to being in the lead, depending on where the leader was.
Yeah, I'm trying to see here. I don't know exactly who this one is for, but I'm going to try to figure it out here.
It's going to be for the guy we just saw around, yeah. He spun out onto the track right there, and that's enough for a caution right there.
Well, for Malone then, things go from bad to worse as he's now got an official caused caution. So with that, so many taking to the pits. Tom Senchek, we've got Joey Stats, Josh Berry, Cameron Thompson, Matthew George, Adam Kulikowski, Kyle Rochelle, Dakota Moniz, Justin Moody, Nick Geilis, everybody taking on tires. And
I'm surprised more people didn't pit. The top 9 stayed out, or top 8. I don't know how much they're able to save here, but I was told it's about 40 to 43 laps on a fuel tank, so they're going to be stretching it here at the end of this stage.
Well, and I mean, at least a couple of those positions are going to fall because of new tires on some of these drivers, because we will come back with 44 laps and the stage is on 48, so you expect the new tires to take over and be able to pass at least a few of these drivers. So if you were at the tail end of that group, I'm not so sure that there's any reason to really stay out there and risk it to the end of the stage, but I'm sitting here in the booth and they're out there driving, so what do I know? But Tom Senchek right now still out there. He's come in on lap 41, and everybody else came in on lap 6. So like you said, Christian, I mean, I get for guys like Vincent Arthur, who, I mean, he's up there in the front. He doesn't want to necessarily, come in and give up that track position, but I don't know. difficult call on that one. We'll see how this all works out. Very difficult strategy. While we have a moment, why don't we go ahead and... Sorry, Christian, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
It's okay. I was going to mention we have a driver interview available if we can take it.
Yeah, let's bring him up. Who is it?
We actually got Ronnie Norman available to comment on the incident. He said he can come on up, so
absolutely.
I'm going to pull Ronnie Norman up here. Ronnie, you're sitting out of the race, man, but tell us about that incident and how wild it was.
And by the way, we do not have the expletive filter working quite yet, so just keep that in mind, Ronnie.
So no, you can't beep anything out? All right.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it was a hard hit, you know. Luckily, with all the safety that NASCAR has these days, we didn't get too injured with it. But no, just an unfortunate circumstance. But now I'm just kind of points watching here, trying to see who's getting stage points now the rest of this race, and going to be paying attention to the points heading into the end of this race for sure.
Well, how much damage do you have to get repaired? Are you going to be able to get back out here, or is the car done?
I got another 10 minutes of required, and then I'm going to come back out and probably take Timmy's place because he's only one lap ahead of me, just to gain that one spot. And then we'll probably park it after that.
Yeah, you got to do anything you can for one extra point. That could be everything.
Yeah, well, and I wanted to come up here and help you out too, though, with the whole fuel situation. On that wreck where I died, a lot of people came down and topped off on fuel, so that's why a lot of these guys can make it to the end.
Well, there you have it. These guys can make it.
I don't think so, but Ronnie does, so we appreciate you letting us know, Ronnie. And it's a good thing you had all those extra points to begin this next phase of the playoffs with, because a race like this definitely going to take it out of you, and then we've got some interesting races to come where you really don't know what's going to happen, but certainly get back out there and get that extra point or so. So you're going to stick around with us here in the booth, or you got to get running, my friend?
I can hang out for a little bit.
All right, that sounds great. So with that, we're about to come back to the green flag here. Oh, no, I guess they did extend it by one more lap, so we do have one more lap to go. Yes.
We indeed do.
All right. Well, Ronnie, how was the track feeling out there? We saw some of these drivers really getting loose. Was the track starting to come in as it got more rubbered in? Did the old tires really feel terrible? Or did you get the car going long enough to really start to be able to tell on the tires?
I did a full run in practice. I only got 4 laps in the race. I don't know how much different the track was, but it was basically just trying to save that right front. I did a 40-lap run, and I ran my right front down to 61%. So if you're not easy on it, she will wear really quick. So you'll definitely see a lot of these good drivers up front that know how to save their tires. You'll see them up front at the end of these long runs if we get them for sure.
You mentioned Tim Harper whenever you came up here. Did you happen to see him in the infield care center? Is he doing okay?
Yeah, I seen he tried to do his best Ryan Preece impression, so I gave him a 10 out of 10 for sure. But yeah, I watched that at least 3 times. I was like, wow. I mean, just the lift off on that car and just watching it fly through the air. I mean, he had nowhere to go. Just watching it from his view when you guys did the replay, it was just wild to see and just super unfortunate for everybody.
Yeah, I just got word that we'll be able to interview him at the next caution, so can't wait to hear what he has to say for that. But we're about to get back going here, and we got 7 cars on old tires and the rest on new, so this is going to get wild here.
Yeah, what do you think about that strategy call there to not come in and pit for Arthur and Bird and the rest? Well, I guess speechless is the word. Vincent Arthur back in the lead, and Blade Timmons now in second place. Josh Conover in third. Conover somehow coming out of nowhere, deciding not to pit, and now runs himself in third. He's going to run next to Ryan Bird. Then you've got Dustin Kleba, who's still in this thing. Jake Christenberry had snuck up there.
Oh, contact.
And we've got one around. It's Christenberry, but wow, he manages to save it. He's still good to go. We've got,
I think, some help there from Ryan Bird.
So racing 3 wide on the backstretch. It's Conover in the middle, Ryan Bird and Everett Couts, and now we've got Bird almost around, but he manages to save it. Brady Motes now squeezes underneath. Still racing to this caution for the stage. There's Vincent Arthur, who takes the top spot. Blade Timmons.
I think we're all alive.
Oh, Adam Kulikowski, I'm seeing possibly a problem further back. We did have a problem after...
Cody Height involved. Oh, no.
This is after the start-finish line. Let's see if we can tell what happened here.
Well, Ronnie, that's going to help you out with Cody Height being involved in this one.
Yeah, you need to see it. Especially after the caution already came out.
Yeah, let's see what happens. You can see Kulikowski slowing down. Then you see Chad Engel trying to get a position there. So is Patty, and Cody Height just ping-pongs in between them. And the 45 involved, the 19 as well.
It looks...
Just guys getting extra positions as they can right at the end of the stage, trying to get as many points as they can. I think that was for 10th, maybe around that. No, that's outside the top 10, so they were just trying to get a position there before the caution came out. Right there, man.
A little bit of contact with Ryan Patty as well. Just a little bit of a dent. Something your guys can buff out.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Well, that's unfortunate to see there, as, you know, they weren't racing for first place, but still difficult going there for some of these drivers, including Cody Height, who is a championship driver. Here's Vincent Arthur leading a train of drivers now into the pits. You got Blade Timmons, Dustin Kleba, Josh Conover, Cameron Thompson, Ryan Bird, Matthew George, Kyle Rochelle, pretty much everybody else in the field besides the top 4, Everett Couts, Tom Senchek, Joey Stats, and Nick Geilis, all choosing to stay out. So, I mean, you'd have to say that this pretty much worked out to Vincent Arthur's plan. He came through the field. He took on tires on lap number 6. Ronnie, I know that we were talking about him not coming in there under this last caution, but it seems like this is a strategy that worked out exactly how he wanted, and he rejoins back out there in 9th place with brand new tires and a fresh tank of fuel.
Yeah, mostly everybody over here at Flatline, we're always trying to save a set of tires for later on in the race, because you just never know what's going to happen with these races. So with them staying out, being able to not have to use tires, I mean, getting the stage win is what you want to do, and then, like you said, going in, getting some freshies, filling the car up with some Sunoco fuel, and then getting back out there. Vincent's going to be back on the prowl to get back up front pretty quick.
As always. But certainly he'll have to work through some of these other drivers. Justin Moody coming in on the same lap. Quite a few of these drivers, Cameron Thompson, Kyle Rochelle, Dakota Moniz, and Justin Moody in front of Vincent Arthur coming in on that same lap number 49. And then it was only lap 41 that Couts, Senchek, and Stats and Geilis came in. So that being said, as you saw there on the screen just a moment ago, we'll bring it back up. Here are the points as they stand in. This does not obviously count the playoff, the first stage of this race into this, but Vincent Arthur extending that lead with the stage win. And Dustin Kleba sitting in 2nd place. Ronnie Norman's 3rd place, though in jeopardy for sure, and possibly he'll fall back. Depends on where everyone else finishes, but probably somewhere around 7th place or so. So we'll see how this all works out with points next race. But Ryan Bird still in the middle of this one. Brady Motes has already had some issues. Jake Christenberry just coming to that caution looked like he got very loose hopefully he's got a handle on that machine. And Matthew George, so far not really making an appearance up at the front, but that's kind of his style. So that is it's a tight battle as we start this second round of the playoffs. And Ronnie, what do you think? I mean, it puts a lot of pressure on the upcoming races for you to get back into this championship.
Yeah, it does for sure. And like you said, you don't want to hear that going into Talladega next week, and then the Roval, which I just absolutely love road courses. So we'll have to see how that one goes. But hopefully we'll be able to get some stage points next week. I won't be able to lay back in the back and ride around, so I'll definitely have to be up front and trying to get some stage points. And we got some good. Josh is a really good pusher here at Flatline, as long as Vincent, they all know what they're doing. So I'm sure we can get hooked up and they can get me to the front if I need to grab some points, hopefully, and just not get net coated or hooked or something, and get some stage points and maybe get out of there with the top 5. That'd be a great day for me for sure.
Well, we'll see whether or not that can happen. In the meantime, I know you've got to get back. Your repairs will be ending soon, and probably want to get with the rest of your Flatline teammates on the radio. And certainly we do appreciate you joining us here in the booth, Ronnie. Best of luck for the rest of this race. If you get out there for a couple of laps, and then we'll certainly see you going forward here as you fight for the NORA Cup Series championship.
All right, yeah, I appreciate you guys. Like I said, I'm trying to come back out on track now, but I'm literally 100 degrees to the left to try to go straight. This thing's crazy.
Oh no.
So hopefully we can get 2 laps here and get it back in pit road.
Well, we'll keep an eye out on it. Be safe, Ronnie. We'll talk to you later, my friend.
All right, thank you guys.
So that is Ronnie Norman. Brings it out onto the track with no hood. And Christian, it's pretty scary stuff what he's doing. But we are back underway here. Everett Couts in the lead. And Joey Stats in second. Tom Senchek in third. And we're getting real racy already. Look at him mix it up here at the front.
Yeah, these guys, I believe, took 2 tires, maybe fuel only. Some of these guys, I think 2 stayed out. So a lot of mixed strategies, but the first one on 4 tires, Vincent Arthur, already inside the top 5.
Absolutely. He goes flying by Nick Geilis. Now sets his sights on Cameron Thompson ahead. Here comes Kyle Rochelle as well. That's not Ronnie on the backstretch. I'm not sure who that is.
Could be one of the other cars that had to get required repairs that's off the pace, but might have a wreck. No, not able to cause a wreck there, but they were close. Blade Timmons underneath Nick Geilis almost made contact.
In the meantime, we got this challenge for the top spot. Everett Couts and Joey Stats going for it here. Is Joey has decided to be in the number 3 car here, and Couts moves down and basically does the old blockaroo on Joey Stats, drives him down to the inside of the track. Christian, that's not going to make Joey very happy.
Yeah, no, that is a way to make a driver very mad, and Joey's not going to take that much longer, but he actually got into the wall there entering turn 1, going to lose ground. But the reason you see Joey Stats in the 3 car is actually eligible for the owners playoffs. So he's over there helping the 3 car try to make it into the next round for that. And Nick Geilis back into the 43 here this week.
Well, side by side with Senchek now, as Senchek decides he's going to try to take over that second spot. Now here comes Cameron Thompson to try to take it from Joey Stats. Stats had a good run there for a second, but he's part of that lap 41 club to come into the pits, and already these new tires starting to show their muster. Here comes Vincent Arthur, who chooses the outside line behind Stats. I don't know. I couldn't tell you which is going to be the best line, but looks like he got slowed up there a little bit. Vincent Arthur now up into 4th spot, and he'll get by Cameron Thompson just riding around behind Stats. So Arthur slicing and dicing his way back up to the front.
A lot of guys slicing and dicing right now. That was a bold move there by Rochelle into turn 3 underneath Cameron Thompson, able to make it work, though, move Kyle Rochelle up in top 5.
Great move for
Rochelle. Kleba underneath Cameron now.
Now, this was a moment ago, Christian. This is one of the Full Send Motorsports drivers. Ryan Patty getting loose, and off she goes through the grass, mowing a little bit of grass, and almost around. Some hippity hop.
Yeah, that is not good for the suspension department.
Now you're going to have to get that thing all back up on the suspension rig again. Get it all figured out. How about this, though? Side by side. Tom Senchek and Everett Counts for the lead here at Texas. It's Everett Counts hanging on as Tom Senchek for late Apex now following in second place. One of
If Senchek saw that Everett Counts was blocking Joey Stats, he's got to expect that Everett's going to block him. So got to see what he's able to do here as he gets a good run through turns 1 and 2. Looks like Everett going to have a little bit of a better drive off there. Looked like a little moment for Joey Stats getting loose. Loses some ground there through 1 and 2. Now a 2-car battle for the lead. It was 3.
Back with Joey Stats here, as he's now about to hear that same doorbell that Vincent Arthur rang earlier. He's just behind and about to make his move, but right now this is the battle that's worth watching on track. Here comes Tom Senchek. He tries the inside and Couts does it again. Moves down to the inside and makes his car very wide. Senchek thought about trying the high side, but pulled it back in and now runs nose to tail. We're under another caution here. So I believe it's Dakota Hendrickson again caught up in one of these. Currently sitting in the pit. So let's take a look at what we've got here. This is Hendrickson coming through the corner and single car incident. He actually just...
Yeah, it looks like he was going to pull it to a stop, and unfortunately iRacing said, well, we're going to call a caution for that.
That is certainly some difficult stuff when iRacing decides to pull that card on you, but it's the same for everybody. Everybody brings it down to caution. Now, this will be interesting to see who decides to bring it into the pits, and Couts leads all those who couldn't pit before. They're now onto the pits. I mean, literally everybody's coming in, Christian. This is probably...
I can see some fuel-only stops, though. Some guys are only about 10 laps on tires. Maybe they take fuel-only, but a lot of these guys are going to take 4 tires here and waste the set right here.
Absolutely. I think that's... I mean, tough to say that tires aren't the way to go, but Vincent Arthur...
Fuel only.
Fuel only. Blade Timmons, fuel only. Kleba, Cameron Thompson, Josh Berry, Nick Geilis, Matthew George, Josh Conover, Brady Motes. All these drivers all the way back to 10th place, and Jacob Malone, all choosing to do fuel-only stops. Everett Couts, the first of the drivers, taking on full set of tires. So with that, I think, do we have a chance to chat with Tim?
We'll see if we're able to move him up here. Yep, we are able to. Tim Harper on the radio in the care center. Tim, how you doing after that wild ride you had?
I'm all right, I guess. Just bummed.
Man, Ronnie, we interviewed him, and he said you were trying to do your best Ryan Preece impression. He gives you a 10 out of 10. But, man, you're, I believe, in the owners' playoffs for that 12 car, so this is a crushing blow points-wise. So you're going into Talladega next week. You going to be able to rebound possibly and keep that car in the owners' title?
We're going to have to do something because I'm not good at road courses. So it looks like next week's going to have to be a whole lot different than this week, or we're going to be in some trouble.
Yeah, you had an up and down season. I mean, you won Phoenix earlier in the year, and it's been winless ever since. But Talladega, anyone can win. You never know what happens. So hopefully you're able to get a win there. But Trevor, you got anything to ask him? I'm sure you want to
Yeah,
chat with him here.
yeah, Tim. I mean, it's got to be. I mean, let's just put it out there for everybody who's watching. It's got to be really disappointing to come into these races. I know how much prep and how much excitement you have coming into a place like Texas. But you come in, you get taken out so early. You don't even get a chance to show what you've got here tonight. How did you feel coming in? Did you feel like maybe you had a good car, like you could run up in the top 5 with this group? Do you traditionally do well at Texas?
I did decent in the Icon Cup Series Sunday. I finished 5th or whatever.
That's right.
But I mean, I feel like I had a top 10 car for sure. I'm not gonna say top 5 because there's a lot of fast people in this league, and it's hard to try to keep up every week. And Texas isn't my best track, so no, I just tried to. I was gonna try different things, see what I could do to save a tire better here or there, just try to figure it out and try to be there at the end. But obviously it just didn't work out too good. I couldn't see it. I had nowhere to go, and then when I did see it, it was too late. So.
Well, of course, as you mentioned, you did have a good finish here at Texas on Sunday night, and we'll see you back again behind the wheel on Sunday night in the Icon Cup Series. But of course, it's a totally different track. What's your take on a place like Talladega? Is there even a strategy that you can employ to try to survive, or do you run with the top group? I've seen Josh Conover at some of these tracks just try to drop back a little bit in a secondary group. Is that a good move? What's your thought on it?
I really just try to talk with my team and see what everybody wants to do. See if some want a little different kind of racing. But most of the time they're all like, yeah, let's go up there, let's try to run up front and lead both lines, and try to control the race and get some stage points. So I have no idea what we're gonna do next week. Most of the time I'll bring quite a bit of people with me and with my team and one of my other buddies' team, and we'll all kind of run together. But no, it's gonna be definitely a decision maker for Monday night, because we're so close to being in that championship 4, and I don't want to ruin it, and I also don't want to not get a lot of points. So it'll be a hard decision on what we're going to do Monday night.
Well, certainly we appreciate you joining us up here, letting us know that you're okay, and we'll be watching for you a couple of times next week. We appreciate you stopping in, and good luck with the rest of your week, and we'll see you on Sunday night.
Appreciate it.
So that is Tim Harper, unfortunately out of the race so early for Harper Motorsports, that number 12 Ford. But we're back underway here. Vincent Arthur, your leader. Blade Timmons holding on in second place. And here comes Dustin Kleba, last week's winner, back into third. There's Josh Berry, star in the first stage, who's doing a fantastic job right now, running in fourth place. And by the way, lest I not be able to get to it any quicker, appreciate you watching, Morgan. Love you, dear, and always appreciate your support. Appreciate everybody's support out there who watches us and comments with us. Always so great to have you here on VirtualRacing.Network. Josh Conover looking to the inside on Tom Senchek. And remember, all these people now on the same tires, so no more real difference in their tire strategies. And here comes Tom Senchek on the inside of Cameron Thompson. He's going to take over that spot. Back up front, though, here's Kleba on the outside of Blade Timmons.
Yeah, some of these guys are on maybe 5 or 6 lap older tires because they took fuel only, but for the most part, they are all on the same tires. But yeah, Kleba trying to make the outside work around Blade Timmons here, and now you see Josh Berry also jump to the top there above Tom Senchek, so outside maybe starting to come in. What you typically see with a hot track is the bottom starts to go away, and you got to kind of move around to try to find grip. So these guys are able to make it work here on the outside for now.
Absolutely, side by side in that second and third row for position, and you're absolutely right. I guess I mean everybody's on the same fuel strategy, but
Contact!
And Timmons almost gets turned from Senchek. Timmons is going to drive Senchek all the way down to the white stripe, but doesn't make contact. He almost comes up and hits Cameron Thompson, who was trying to go around the outside, and now they sort it all out. Thompson files in behind, but not before Senchek gets that position, now up into fourth. And still racing side by side back here as Josh Conover, the owner and admin of the NORA Cup Series, looks on. He would have seen all of that go down from the cockpit, so...
Yeah, Blade Timmons, if he catches up to Tom Senchek, we're going to need a camera on that because he is not happy at all with him. I wasn't expecting Texas to bring out tempers, but so far we have a lot of blocking and a lot of people angry.
Yeah, indeed. Malone. So sideways through the corner. He came down, got below that apex. He's going to drive him all the way down. He drove Blade Timmons all the way down to the white line. Oh my goodness, and now Josh Conover mixed up in this one as well. Timmons and Conover possibly going to touch as they go through the tri-oval.
Man, that was a very aggressive block, and I think Conover, after seeing that, is go ahead, try and block me. I want to see that happen.
Absolutely.
Man, Timmons twice in under, I think, 3-lap span gets blocked the whole way down to the white line. That's insane.
Well, like you said, tempers flaring here in the NORA Cup Series, and not exactly what we expected, but...
Timmons gets sideways.
Timmons again in the middle of it, and now 3 wide down the backstretch. Conover emerges up in front of Ryan Bird and Cameron Thompson, who still continue to fight for position back here. But right now, up in front, it is Vincent Arthur, who's starting to walk away with a little bit of an advantage, half a second on Dustin Kleba, but Kleba not really slipping away so far yet. Senchek, Kleba getting a little loose off of turn 2, and here comes Tom Senchek. He saw Kleba get loose there, and Senchek is going to pounce. He moves up into the second position.
Yeah, these cars really loose. We talked about it in the beginning of the show here. Especially if you get on that white paint, it just unsettles the car so easily. And we saw it there with Kleba, just touched it ever so slightly there in turns 1 and 2 and bobbled. And this is a momentum type of race, so once you bobble once, you're probably going to lose 1 to 2 positions. Luckily for Kleba, he only lost 1 there.
Well, and something else to keep in mind, Senchek, one of those drivers to come down and take 4 tires on that stop, and Vincent Arthur, Dustin Kleba did not. So here comes Senchek back up to where he qualified in second place right now. As you see Josh Berry and Kyle Rochelle racing side by side back there in the background. But Senchek closing in a hurry on Vincent Arthur. We might have a battle for the lead before very long.
Yeah, we got about 16 laps to go here in the stage, and Senchek, he's getting to the outside of Vincent here, and this is for a potential playoff point for the next round. So this is an important pass right here.
They'll go side by side for a moment, but Senchek takes that position. move him up into the top spot. Tom Senchek for Late Apex Racing now looks like he is in perfect position as we've got Conover going through the grass, I believe. We had him for a moment having an issue here. Looks like he might have gotten a little loose off of 4 and trimming some grass, and that's about as well as you can get away with that as possible.
Yeah, he stayed in it and only lost 1 position. Pretty impressive there.
Well, Kleba...
Oh, there was contact just now. Everett Couts around Malone there. He kind of gave him a little bump and got around him.
Well, this is what we saw maybe just a moment ago here. This was Couts as they exit turn 4. It looks like Malone got loose. And Couts dives down to the inside. Very close to take that position. We move back to the live picture. Here comes Couts on Conover as they move into turns 1 and 2. Couts taking that low line. This is for 7th position. You see just behind, that's Malone and Timmons exchanging positions. Still racing this one out. And Blade Timmons, how many incidents has he been involved with and still walked away from tonight? Well, he moves again ahead of Malone, and here comes Jake Christenberry, one of the championship drivers, up 18 spots from the back of the field, now up into the top 10 again.
Yeah, we saw him go through a wild ride through the grass and able to rebound so far. Pretty good job there by Jake Christenberry to get back up into the top 10 here right before the stage ends, and we see a car coming into pit road. Don't know if that's a lap car or a lead car, but
that's Peyton Tullock in 24th.
We might need pit stops here before the end of the stage, so we'll have to see who decides to come in and top off if they're able to make it the rest of the way through the stage. Only about 13 laps to go, or less.
Well, hello to McGillicuddy. McGillicuddy, great to have you joining us. I should say yo back at you. Let us know who you're watching, who you're rooting on. You got a favorite driver, favorite team, or where you're watching from. Always great to know anybody who's watching the broadcast. We've got a lot of you out there watching live. That's always great to see. But this is one heck of a battle. Back up front, Tom Senchek doing what he needs to do. He's only got, what do we got, 9 more laps or so until the end of this stage. Vincent Arthur sitting in 2nd place, and he's about to come under attack from Kyle Rochelle, who is charged forward in a hurry. Now, Rochelle, another one of those drivers who took 4 tires on that stop. So those 4 tires they seem to be like gold out there, Christian. I mean, there's just no replacement for those 4 new shoes. It doesn't matter whether it's 5 laps newer, 10 laps newer. You just can't replace it.
Yeah, this track eats up tires a lot, and every pit stop you're going to want tires, but it's a matter of saving tires for the end of the race. So that's what a lot of the strategy was for the 9 guys that took fuel only. They're going to have an extra set toward the end of the race, as we see possibly an incident here again with Blade Timmons.
Yes, indeed. I think you can guess what happened here. Oh! Momentary contact with the 3 machine of Joey Stats. We're off clipping grass again. So what you tell these guys, they don't need that lawn mowed on the infield. It's been mowed. They don't need it. Kyle Rochelle emerges ahead of Vincent Arthur. As we were away at that replay, this was a moment ago. Rochelle at the tri-oval making the pass, and Vincent Arthur knows he's beat. concedes the position. Eventually. And so Kyle Rochelle has climbed 19 spots here tonight to be riding around in the second place. And Christian, if you're seeing what I'm seeing, that's 3 cars from the late Apex team in the top 4 positions at this point.
Yeah, they're working the strategy very well here at Texas, taking those 4 tires, able to capitalize, and now Ryan Bird and Tom Senchek going to get some playoff points or stage points out of this. So good call by them.
Well, and I'm not sure. Bird may be... We're talking about 0.3 of a second faster per lap than Vincent Arthur. So might he be able to close this gap and possibly take this position for 3rd place? Close out this stage, late Apex, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, definitely very possible. Those 4 fresh tires, they're about 2 or 0.3 faster right now, and all he's got to do is just stay focused, and he should be able to get them here because I believe the stage ends on lap 96, if I'm correct. So got about 3 laps to go here until it ends.
Indeed, lap number 96 is the magic number, so he's going to have to get this pass done if he wants that extra.
Vincent got a little loose there.
And again, this is for extra stage points, and this matters in the overall, but Arthur not sweating it.
Yeah, this point not as important for him as it is for Bird being on the outside looking in. Or actually, I believe he was inside just a couple points ahead of the cutoff. So these points are going to definitely help him going into Talladega next week.
But still, the dream comes true for late Apex Racing. Can they keep it that way for another couple of laps here? The only one not to join them in the race is Dakota Moniz, who sits in 13th position at the moment. Everett Couts now sitting in 6th place. Dustin Kleba a couple of tenths ahead of him. And then just behind Josh Berry, who's under attack from Jake Christenberry, who's come forward another couple of spots since we saw him last. So now he's possibly going to take this spot from Josh Berry as well, up into that 8th place, and he'll be looking to move up into that 7th place. But as he crosses the start-finish line, we'll be seeing in just a moment the yellow flag come out, and Tom Senchek takes the stage victory. Kyle Rochelle in 2nd and Ryan Bird in 3rd, and that makes a trifecta for the late Apex Racing team, and that is something pretty awesome to see their team be able to form up. Now, the one thing that we have not seen from late Apex is the ability to get all 3 cars actually up there at the end of the race. But this is one heck of a performance from those 3 drivers, and Tom Senchek has done a lot of good for himself getting those extra points here to make it into the next round of the playoffs. But congratulations to him. Dustin Kleba going to take 5th place. Vincent Arthur in 4th. And Everett Couts in 6th place. Josh Berry ends up 7th. Kristen Berry in 8th. Conover in 9th place. Joey Stats in 10th. So with that, I think we're going to take a momentary break. We'll be right back here on VirtualRacing.Network with all the remaining green flag coverage yet to come. Stay tuned. Lots more great racing from Texas Motor Speedway. And welcome back here live on VirtualRacing.Network. Tom Senchek emerges back out of the pits in the lead with Vincent Arthur in second place, Ryan Bird in third, Dustin Kleba in fourth spot at the moment. And I believe we're now going to get a chance to chat with the driver from Late Apex Racing, the number 26, who's in the lead. He just won the second stage of the race. Congratulations, Tom Senchek. Late Apex 1, 2, 3 in that stage. How does it feel?
That was pretty awesome. I didn't realize until the very last lap that Ryan was getting around Vincent, so that was cool to do that in the stage. It was also cool to get my first stage win in this league. So yeah, pretty happy with that. Even though I had fresher tires, still feels good.
Yeah, fresher by a bit. That was an interesting strategy call from some of the drivers to stay to do the fuel only stop instead of taking 4, but you took 4, and a number of the other drivers who took 4, they also profited. But what's it going to take here over the next 60 laps? You got to go over the long haul, and I mean, look at who's right behind you there, Vincent Arthur.
Oh yeah, tire management for sure. I wasn't expecting that last one to go green. I thought that we were just going to be able to lead some laps and get some points that way. But we were happy that it went green because it saved us a set of tires. Like, you know, since we took one earlier, we kind of evened out with everybody else. But tire management, clean air, especially on this one-lane racetrack, clean air is absolutely crucial. So I'm going to try and keep that as much as I can.
Well, best of luck to you out there. Again, some great competition, but pretty cool to see Late Apex able to actually get the formation and take the stage podium. So it's 60 more laps to go, but hopefully we'll be talking to you after the end of this one, my friend.
I hope so, man. Let's do it.
All right, that is Tom Senchek checking in with us from Late Apex Racing, and awesome stuff there to see, Christian. I mean, it takes a lot of skill for one driver from a team to get up there and get into the top 3, let alone the entire team. What is it going to take for these drivers now that we can refocus, we can settle in, we know what the track is going to be like, we know what the cars are going to be like for the last stage? What is your call out there in this final stage? Do you think there's going to be a lot more green flag racing? You position yourself for that? Are you thinking there's going to be another couple of cautions, save some tires for the very end? What's your call out there, Christian?
Oh, man. I would say save your tires and predict a green flag run, but with a couple drivers in the field being very upset, and I'm hearing Payback has some quotes going around out there in the drivers' channels. So some drivers are looking for some retribution for something that happened earlier in the race. So with that in mind, if a caution comes out, throw out the strategy for green flags.
Well, we know that words on the radio are cheap and actions on the track sometimes carry swift penalties here in the NORA Cup Series. So we'll see whether or not that occurs, but hopefully tempers can come down a little bit and the collars can cool off and we'll be able to resume clean racing out here. But that's easier said than done. Once that red mist starts in the helmet, there's really no going back for some of these drivers.
Yeah, it's tough. I've fallen victim to tempers before, and have let myself get penalized multiple times in this league. So hopefully we don't see it tonight. But we are back under green here. About 60 laps to go here for the rest of this race here at Texas.
We are indeed underway once again. Tom Senchek leads Ryan Bird, Vincent Arthur, Dustin Kleba, and Everett Couts back. And
oh man!
Wow, they are really moving and shaking in the middle of this group. And here is Ryan Bird trying to hold the outside on Vincent Arthur. There in the next row, it's Kleba and Couts trying to race side by side. Nobody's giving an inch so far. Everybody's racing like this is the last lap.
Yeah, I'm really surprised on how aggressive these guys are treating Texas right now. I mean, we saw the elevator move by Everett Couts. He was up on the outside wall, drove the whole way to the bottom to get underneath Kleba, and now you can see he got into the quarter panel just ever so slightly if Kleba got him a little loose, and he's going to take that position now.
I mean, this is some really, really hard racing. for just coming back to the green flag with 60 laps remaining in this race. But Couts does take that 4th spot, up 19 positions here tonight. So a great run for Couts for the JRC Sim team. And looking back at Kleba and Kyle Rochelle, Josh Berry, Josh Conover, and Brady Moats. Looks like some side-by-side racing right now for Kyle Rochelle, who's falling out of that position. Josh Berry has now emerged up into that 6th spot. Good racing, though, in this group, and there's Conover now going to go underneath Rochelle. You can see, looks like Brady Moats has recovered after those earlier incidents. There's Brady Moats still in the top 10.
Yeah, he's doing a heck of a job right now. Able to be up there in the top 10 in the points-paying positions, and that's really important, especially with 2 very different tracks coming up, and a lot of people not good at road courses, but Brady Moats, one of the better ones in the field there, so he's got 2 good racetracks for him coming up.
Indeed, it will be fun to see how this NORA Cup Series playoffs unfold. But tonight, it's all about Texas Motor Speedway. Who is the fastest at this incredibly fast track for these cars and very tricky track? Right now, it's Tom Senchek for Late Apex Racing, but Vincent Arthur is closing in right now. It looked like Senchek was going to walk away a little bit, but right now, Arthur is a little bit faster each lap, about coming up on a 1/10 of a second a lap faster. So we'll see whether or not Arthur can try to get side by side in a moment with Senchek. In the meantime, Couts now a full second back from this group, but he has emerged up into 3rd, taking that position away from Ryan Bird and Josh Berry. So Couts on the move and trying to do something himself, which is to get up onto that podium and possibly get up into this group and take the win.
Yeah, he's got to be careful running the tires pretty hard right now. What he's gonna do is probably gonna split this stage in half. We're probably gonna see a lot of guys pit about 30 laps in, so about 30 to go. That's what I would do, at least if I was out there. I would split it in half. That way you don't have to run too many laps on one set of tires. So we'll have to see what the strategy call is here.
Well, Ryan Bird sitting in 4th place. He's looking on. Here comes Dustin Kleba trying to get to the inside right now of Josh Berry. For position, that's for 5th. They still race side by side down the backstretch. Berry with the run off of the corner, but not a favored place necessarily unless you can hold on that outside. You might get the better run off of turn 4. Now you see Conover switching lanes to follow Kleba through the inside of the tri-oval. He slides right back up in front of Brady Moats. Oh, Kleba rides up a little bit. That gives Berry something to think about, and he'll drop back a little bit, but still hold on side by side with Dustin Kleba for position in 5th place.
Yeah, we saw earlier Berry is not afraid to pinch these drivers. Whenever he was battling for the lead with Vincent Arthur, he came down and almost doored him in the middle of the corner here through 1 and 2, and now he's racing Dustin Kleba just as tight. And doing a good job so far defending it. Brushes the wall a little bit there, but should be okay after that one. Not too much damage. Oh, man.
Whoa.
That's something we saw in real life. Whenever you get so close together, side by side in the corners, that car on the inside loses all the air on the rear spoiler, and it'll just go around. And Kleba almost went around, loses 3 positions out of that, almost 4 here as we see Kyle Rochelle going around him on the outside as well.
That's how quickly he drops all the way back to 9th place for Dustin Kleba. He was fighting for 5th. This guy's clean sailing so far. Tom Senchek count it off, 47 more laps to hang on, but right out the back door, you don't want to open up the screen door and let him in, because Vincent Arthur is ready to go if Tom Senchek has any sort of issue here in this final stage. But Senchek so far holding tight. Last lap was exactly the same, down to the 100th of a second as Vincent Arthur. Solid running for these drivers right now. Everett Couts. Oh, we're having a moment here for Kristen Berry. I think he slid through the grass, I believe, dropping back to the 16th position. It looks like he had already drifted back a ways there, because that's racing for 14th. And then he just gets loose coming off of turn 4. So one of your championship drivers still continuing to suffer here as he's fallen further and further back, now back into 16th position. And this gap just, it grows a little bit, it shrinks a little bit. So far, no problems for Senchek to hold off Arthur, but for how long before Arthur able to possibly make a move? And you know it's just going to take one quick move. How about back here? This is scary tight for Conover, who runs Barry up into the wall, and Rochelle now stuck on the outside. Moat's on the inside. Conover. You just knew with how tight that racing was going that might happen.
And yeah, Conover not hitting the brakes. He's mad. You can tell. He was just letting it roll right there. He's gonna spin around, and yeah, I mean, it's tight racing late in the race, but you know, man, you can already see it started way before this. This just kind of leads to it. Whenever that car is so tight on the outside, it gets you loose, and Conover's just dealing with a loose car that entire corner. They're kind of beating doors, and then right here, I don't know if he came up too far, or yeah, he just comes up a little too far, and they wall each other there.
And what is going on there? Because he would not have received an all clear call from his spotter, Conover. He just kind of
expected Barry to be higher. Barry came down about a half a lane, maybe a lane off the wall. Conover was expecting him to be up a little bit higher. So he was coming up to get Arc into the corner, and just kind of Barry just wanted to run tight going into it, and that's the result there.
Well, certainly Conover not the guy to try to pin and run tight, because he'll run as tight a racing as you can handle, even to a fault. And unfortunate for both of these drivers to be caught up in this one. This is on board with Barry here. Well, he had a real hot rod. It looked real good out there for a lot of this race, but unfortunately, two of the contenders, neither one of which is a championship contender. We should point that out.
Well, the 25 is in it for the owners' championship, but other than that.
That is true, but not for the drivers' championship. Yeah. So fortunately, they're the only ones that get caught up in that incident, and we do not see more carnage for our drivers' championship drivers. But as you point out, that owners' championship still raging on, and a lot of these cars that can't compete for the drivers' championship still in it for the owners' championship. Joey Stats, though, right now has decided not to pull it into the pits, and he'll stay out there, and as a result, he will get a chance to lead a lap here if he does not pull that one into the pits. But take a look at Ronnie Norman. Somehow that car got fixed on pit road. I don't know if he's going to bring it back in and park it, or if he's just going to...
Fixed? Fixed is a very loose term. That car is far from fixed.
Looks like it's got all of its parts on it.
I mean, if you go on board, though, he is not. That wheel is not straight.
It's turning.
He's struggling.
It was turning way to the left, and yeah, he'll hop out.
Yeah, he can't gain any more positions, I don't think. So this is a good call just to hop out and, yeah, man. He did a good job though. He went out there and he did what he needed to do. He passed the 19 and got another position, but he can't get any more. So, although Todd Slauson is out ahead of him, I don't know how many laps behind him he is, but I think at this point Norman just tired of turning left on straightaways.
Yeah, certainly, and you don't want to accidentally bring out another caution and, cause a problem for the rest of the field. But we are under caution here once again at Texas Motor Speedway. This is our 6th incident-caused caution. We're on lap number 119, getting ready here at about another lap to come back to the green flag. And once again, big shout out to all of you over in the YouTube chat room and everybody joining us live here on YouTube. Also, big shout out to the well over 100,000 virtual iRacing fans who bought tickets for tonight's race and showed up to the virtual Texas Motor Speedway. Look, they even brought their motorhomes, they brought their tents, RVs. Christian, this is really a happening to be out here for the NORA Cup Series.
Yeah, we had the day off in between races here on the virtual racing, the virtual Texas here. I went down in some of those campers and was hopping around, visiting the fans down there and having some cookouts, some Texas Roadhouse,
Absolutely. That's really dangerous because you get down there and that's the first thing that everybody does is they offer you a hamburger, a hot dog, and a beer. And I
gained 20 pounds.
That's what I'm saying. You take advantage of that, and you're walking away 20 pounds heavier each weekend. But hey, the good news is you don't have to pay for your own food for the weekend. So, it's
exactly, especially with a legend in iRacing coming to visit them. They were thrilled. A NORA vet.
Yes,
they were happy to just give me all the beer I wanted.
I love how you just called yourself a legend in iRacing.
Hey, you call me that every week I come in here.
I do. And Christian Snyder, race winner here previously in the NORA Series at Texas Motor Speedway up on the big Hall of Fame wall at the NORA Museum. And it's, Christian, it's been an interesting run here at Texas this week. This race is playing out quite a bit different than Icon. Oh my goodness me! Senchek getting into the back of Couts as Couts is now spinning around through the infield. Is that going to bring out the caution? No.
It is not. But there's still a lot of cars struggling. And some interesting notes I was just given. All of these guys who just pit are 1 gallon short to make it to the end. So this is going to be a fuel strategy race if this thing stays green. But man, after seeing that, I don't think it will here.
Oh my goodness me, Christian! This is some crazy stuff as we go 3 wide through the tri-oval. I don't know what this. As Vincent Arthur makes it 3 wide for a moment, and thank goodness Joey Stats backs out of it. Very aggressive racing once again as we're back to green, and Tom Senchek is not going to relinquish this lead to Vincent Arthur no matter how hard he pushes. Dangerous stuff here, Christian.
I'm kind of speechless that we're not under caution right now. That was as close as you can get without the yellow flag in the air. My goodness.
Well, we will go back and take a look at that restart here in just a moment. But that was some serious stuff. And I also see Ronnie Norman having an off track in addition to that. I don't know if that's related, but they continue to race on here. And this was the green flag. We watch Tom Senchek, and he's going to follow Everett Couts. Does Couts miss a shift? Does he just not get going? What happens here?
Oh, he just spun tires, no contact.
He did spin his tires.
He decided to stay out, or I think take fuel only, I believe, and those old tires just didn't have enough grip there on that restart.
Well, as a result, that really changed the complexion of this restart, and Tom Senchek able to really fire up that machine and take over that lead despite a very hard challenge from Vincent Arthur. And right now, Jacob Malone, I can't even believe it. How is it possible? He had that machine going through the grass back there, all kinds of issues. And now here he is back into third.
Yeah, up ahead though. Oh, well, now we got too wide here, but up ahead, Tom Senchek was blocking Vincent Arthur the whole way down to the white line, but really tight battle here between Ryan Patty and Dustin Kleba, Cameron Thompson, Kyle Rochelle. But here we go. Finally, Vincent gets underneath him here.
Side by side down the backstretch for the lead. We've been waiting to see whether Arthur could make his move and possibly take the top spot, and now we enter the danger zone as we come onto the front stretch. Senchek on the outside, Arthur on the inside. As we go across the stripe, it's Senchek who holds the lead. Is Arthur gonna try to pinch Senchek? Will Senchek try to pinch Arthur? Will Malone be the spoiler in all this?
I was about to bring that up. With them being side by side, Malone's going to have a good run here down the backstretch, and he's going to be close enough to possibly make a move on the front stretch. So here they go. They're tight there in 3 and 4. Vincent Arthur moved up the track. You can see Malone gets a run now. He's going to go to the outside of Vincent Arthur, or try to. Oh, still there. Oh, man.
Now it's Arthur and Malone racing side by side. Malone keeps Arthur pinned down to the inside. That is not what Vincent Arthur was planning or was hoping for, as now Malone, who's not in this Drivers' Championship here in the playoffs, now plays spoiler to these other drivers. The top 5, everyone else except for Malone is in the Drivers' Championship. And Brady Motes now into 4th. 21 positions gained after incidents. Both Malone and Motes have now moved into 3rd and 4th on the track.
Yeah, that's an incredible job there by Brady Motes, but now he's got pressure underneath from Ryan Bird and Dustin Kleba. So as quick as he was able to get up to 3rd, he's now back to 6th, now 7th, now possibly 8th here as Patty gets underneath him as well. A little bit of a moment there in turn 3.
My goodness, this is starting to fall away from him. But again, how about Ryan Patty now up into the top 10 in 7th place? He was caught up in the incidents. He was running back in 13th, 14th place. Now he's up in position in the top 10, possibly looking at a top 5. So how quickly the tides can turn here. And we were, of course, at this restart, we saw Everett Couts up in this one at the front, and now he's running back in 19th place. So my goodness, it changes very quick. 29 laps remaining in this race. We do wonder, can we stay green flag the whole rest of this race?
No, I don't think so, man. The way these guys are racing, they're acting like it's the last lap every lap, as we see a battle right now between Blade Timmons and Brady Motes, I believe that was. He's going to get by him there, and Kyle Rochelle sitting there in 10th. Good battles all around the track as Cameron Thompson looks underneath Ryan Bird, not able to make it happen in that corner. This entire top 10, they're all within 3 seconds of each other, so they're battling as hard as they can right now.
Well, and a big shout out also for Cameron Thompson. This is one of his best runs of the entire season. Right now, just outside the top 5 at a track that is definitely difficult for everybody to get a grip on. And he's making moves and hanging with the best of the best. Here's Ryan Bird just in front, Dustin Kleba, Jacob Malone. So Thompson having a good run, but will he be able to hold on to it for another 29 laps? Here comes Ryan Patty, though, guy with a lot of experience, including over in the Icon Cup Series. He's picked up all that experience just on Sunday night. Will he be able to do something with it tonight? Possibly take a position. Actually, is that Blade Timmons now coming forward on Ryan Patty? So again, these tires start to fall off, and some of these drivers able to take advantage. Here comes Blade Timmons forward, now possibly going to take that 7th position away from Patty.
Yeah, Ryan Patty got loose there in turn 4, kind of touched the white paint, got a little loose, and that allowed Timmons to get underneath him, and now You can see they're battling pretty hard there. Patty able to get back by Blake Timmons for now.
Oh,
Battle for the lead here.
Vincent puts it down on the low line as they exit turn
Senchek.
2. Wow.
Big bobble.
Big bobble
That's
for
going to give
Senchek.
Vincent the lead easily.
Indeed, Arthur moves into the lead by a few car lengths, but it looks like he kind of overshot the corner himself, and now here Senchek is on his rear bumper. Senchek gets loose in 4, drives down through the grass, and Malone is going to take advantage. And you have to wonder if maybe Senchek was driving the tires a little hard through those first laps, trying to stay ahead of Vincent Arthur, but now he recovers. Malone drives him down the track. We've seen this before, but Senchek holds on into turn 3.
Yeah, and Vincent's loving seeing this in his rearview mirror. Side by side, those cars are going to slow down because of that, and that's going to allow Vincent to get away. And now you can see Kleba able to pull up to these two since they're side by side, taking the air off of each other, not able to get as good of a run, but I say that, and then Senchek drives it in deep through 1 and 2, almost catches up to Vincent Arthur there.
He's
now on the outside.
We've got a 4-way battle for the lead happening with just 24 laps remaining. Vincent Arthur takes the position away from Senchek, and then Malone is up in this. Kleba is up in this. Side by side, they race for that 3rd spot, but Kleba possibly going to have a look at 2nd before too long.
Looks like Senchek going to be able to get to the outside of Vincent Arthur here. Vincent really dealing with a loose car. We saw Senchek dealing with a loose car a couple laps ago as he almost went around coming out of 4, and now Vincent struggling. And now that's going to allow Kleba to catch up to these two and possibly make this thing 3 wide here.
Well, they race side by side. Kleba and Senchek for 2nd place. Kleba now taking that inside preferred line through 1 and 2. Will he be able to hold it? Will it slide out on him? Kleba not able to take the position, and Senchek holds on in 2nd. So the running order now: Arthur, Senchek, Kleba, Malone, Ryan Bird in 5th place. And still all kinds of passing happening back here as well. How about Nick Geilis now up into the top 10? Ryan Patty in 9th place, Kyle Rochelle in 8th. So a lot of movement happening here in the top 10. Still a lot of battling to go as we're just approaching the 20 laps to go marker.
I believe Josh told me earlier today that Nick wasn't feeling good and was questionable for the race, but having a good run out here in the top 10 right now. I don't know what it is about drivers, but whenever they don't feel good, they kind of race better almost. It's kind of like they're able to focus more on the racing than they normally would. But we have trouble. Malone hard into the wall. He's going to lose a lot of time out of that one there.
Malone has a big incident there as we reach 20 laps to go. Sponsored by Snyder Graphics, facebook.com/Snyder Graphics. Get your iRacing livery done by the pros at Snyder Graphics for a very affordable price. Able to work on your cup car, your truck, just about anything you got on iRacing. Bring your dreams to Snyder Graphics and they'll make it come true. Facebook.com/Snyder Graphics today. Vincent Arthur is holding on here, under 20 laps remaining. Now clicks down to 18 laps to go this lap, and Dustin Kleba in 2nd place. This looks so familiar, Christian. I can't even believe it to see these two up running 1 and 2.
Yeah, these two, man, they've been 1 and 2 a lot this season, and infamously we saw the Darlington race where they took each other out of contention and let Ronnie win. So these two have had their fair share of battles and fair share of contact between each other. Love to see this battle throughout the season, and it's going to go down the whole way to Phoenix. I see these two definitely making the Final Four.
Well, we have been seeing that, honestly, since Kleba came back into the NORA Series. Vincent Arthur this whole season has been really one of the absolute superstars in the series for sure, and been at the top of the championship order throughout this entire season. But Dustin Kleba, since his arrival, has been kind of the guy, if he's feeling it that week, which he was most weeks, I mean, if he's going to qualify on the pole and take stage victories and take the victory if something doesn't stop him. Senchek, however, he's flirted with that podium position territory. He's gotten it a couple of times, but it's been kind of a roller coaster ride for him. However, this is kind of what we have come to see out of Tom Senchek, a smooth, consistent racer who's able to get up there towards the top of the podium. Just depends on kind of the luck of the draw, but also look back here into fourth place. Not a shocker to see Ryan Bird in the top 5 either. This guy's taken race victories, podiums. It's kind of actually surprising to see him all the way back in fourth place, but nevertheless, that's what champions do. You get the best finish that you can. Looks like we had a incident here just a moment ago, though. Why don't we take a look at this? This is this beautiful number 43 machine with Nick Geilis, who tonight is sitting in the 43 instead of the 3. And how many times have we seen this tonight?
I think that makes 5, maybe 6.
Been quite a few. Gets it back up onto the racetrack, and this is still anything but over. At least 2 cars, if not 3 cars, if we stay green, still have a chance at this one. Vincent Arthur, Dustin Kleba, Tom Senchek, your top 3 at the moment, still within pouncing distance. We look back here, though. Look at this gaggle for 5th place on back. This is Jacob Malone, who's still hanging on in 5th somehow. I don't know how, but still hanging on. Blade Timmons, who again is the guy. And Malone has another moment. That is such a big moment, Christian.
Yeah, once you get loose once with cars, it's downhill from there, and he's loose every single corner. He's got a handful in that car, really working the wheel every single corner, so he's probably going to lose multiple more positions. Cameron Thompson also wheeling that car, getting loose every corner, so these guys starting to lose the handling on their car, pushing it a little too hard in the early stage of this run. We've got to remember, we went green with about 42 to go, and these guys have been close on fuel. I was messaged by Ronnie saying a lot of guys close on fuel, going to be a fuel strategy race to the end. So hopefully these guys have enough to make it.
Well, we certainly will watch this very last lap of the race with bated breath, but Brady Motes up 18 spots, getting that 7th place. Ooh, getting a little wiggle there through the corner. But, I mean, again, a recovery drive for Motes here tonight to get all of those places coming from the back of the field. And for him to get up there and possibly get as many points as he will, he gets to stay in contention with this championship. Take a look a little bit further back there. That looks like Cameron Thompson was weaving there a little bit, coming down the backstretch. Not sure what that was all about. Jake Christenberry, after having those incidents earlier, recovering just fine, but now he's going to let the lap car of Ronnie Norman by. No, I'm sorry, that's Matthew George, actually. Excuse me.
Yeah, Matthew George able to have a nice recovery here. He's about to get into the top 10 for, I think, the first time tonight, popping his nose into the top 10.
Yeah, usually right about now we're seeing him poke his nose into the top 5, but George making his appearance into the top 10. We'll see if he can go up there and chew off some more positions before this one is over. But back up front, will we see Kleba go for this win? Christian, is it worth anything for, I mean, Kleba taking this win away from Arthur, is it worth anything?
It's worth a lot. Kleba doesn't have as many points as Vincent Arthur does right now in these playoffs. So with Kleba, if he's able to get this win, it locks him in. Where Vincent Arthur, if he gets the win, he doesn't have to worry going to Talladega and the Roval, which are two tracks that are questionable. You never know what's going to happen there. So whoever wins this race is going to go into the next 2 weeks very comfortable, which is very rare. Anyone who combines comfortable with Talladega is very crazy.
Well, that's certainly playoff racing, and you got to really know that format and put it to your advantage. Right now, looking on as...
Ooh, I just got an update. These guys are going to be running out, coming to the finish line from sources within the race. I got Ronnie Norman in my ear telling me some inside information down there as he's driving around holding the wheel left and trying to stay on the track.
Well, he would know. He's talking with his teammates, including Vincent Arthur, so he would have some inside information, and we appreciate anytime we get that inside info. Here's Malone dropping down. Is he going to try to pit? He is indeed. And we do also see Kyle Rochelle making it into the pits. They believe that they're not going to make it, so they're going to take the chance to come in and take this green flag pit stop. Christian, we may see all kinds of calamity on this last lap.
It's very possible. Texas has been one of the most fuel strategy type tracks in the past years. I personally remember Dale Jr. running out of fuel at this track, and it still hurts to this day that he wasn't able to get that win. But fuel strategy and Texas are just two things that have always been together, and I don't know what it is about this track that sets that up.
Well, who will be able to hold on until the start-finish line? Is somebody going to try to pedal this one early? You might see Arthur decide to drop back a little bit. You might see Dustin Kleba try to take a little bit out here in the last couple of laps just to make sure they can stay good until the line. Or will neither one of them choose to take anything out and possibly both of them run out of fuel coming to the line? We have no idea. It should be a lot of fun to find out. Just 2 more laps around this next lap as Vincent Arthur he's got to be sweating bullets inside that car trying to figure out whether or not he's going to make it. And if he does or he doesn't, how's he going to defend from Kleba? Ryan Bird up into third. Blade Timmons in fourth. Brady Moats now up into the top 5. Matthew George, we're just talking about him. He's making his appearance now into 6th place. Is he one of those drivers that's going to run out of fuel? We don't know. One more time around, this time for Vincent Arthur. Does he have the fuel in the tank to take the win, or will it be Dustin Kleba or possibly someone else on board? He's back in the gas. We listen to hear whether he runs out. And he can coast from here. He's going to possibly do it. He is going to do it. Vincent Arthur takes your victory here at Texas Motor Speedway.
Kleba's out. He ran out right before the line.
Kleba does run out, and he still holds on to 2nd place, and Ryan Bird will take 3rd place. Blade Timmons in 4th, and Brady Moats hangs on for 5th place in this first race of the round of 12.
I think Vincent Arthur is now out of fuel. I don't think we'll see too many donuts for him, but what a performance here.
He brings it.
Yeah, I think that engine was off whenever we were on board there.
Indeed, I don't see any revs on the rev limiter either. But he decides he's just going to probably park it at start-finish. We're going to take a momentary break here as Vincent Arthur pulls it down to the start-finish line. I don't know what he's going to do to celebrate.
Oh, there. He still had a little bit of fuel. He shut the engine off so that he could celebrate. So he's got the last bit of fuel, and there it is, out of fuel.
Well, what a great celebration. At least one donut in. We're going to get the final results up. We'll be back to chat with the top drivers here in the NORA Cup Series coming up here in just 1 second. Stay tuned here on VirtualRacing.Network. And welcome back here on VirtualRacing.Network. You saw it all unfold. It was quite the show. At the end of the second stage, it was Tom Senchek and the late Apex team who formed at the front. And due to multiple different occurrences, including drivers running out of fuel and different incidents at the front, including at the restart, it was Vincent Arthur who did it again. He managed to come from behind and take the win here at Texas Motor Speedway for Flatline Motorsports, therefore punching his ticket safely into the next round of the playoffs. Dustin Kleba, he tried, he took one of the stage wins, but unable to get up there and take the overall win here tonight. As a result, he'll have to keep going and fighting hard through the rest of these playoffs to try to get his way into the next round of the playoffs. Ryan Bird taking third place, and in the end, he's the top late Apex Racing driver. As I said, it's interesting because they were able to form up for the second stage, but so far, they have yet to be able to do that efficiently at the end of the race. Still impressive running for late Apex, and certainly for Tom Senchek, who fell well down into the order, possibly after also falling out of fuel. But Blade Timmons will take fourth place. Brady Moats taking fifth. Matthew George taking sixth place. Seventh going to Jacob Gladelich. Eighth to Ryan Patty. Ninth, Josh Conover. 10th to Jake Christenberry. 11th, Justin Moody. 12th, Cameron Thompson. 13th, Nick Geilis. 14th, Chad Engel. 15th, Tom Senchek. 16th, Kyle Rochelle. 17th to Jacob Malone. 18th to Joey Stats. 19th to Cody Height, one of the championship drivers. Cody Height on YouTube suffering tonight, and he's going to have a very difficult run at Talladega coming up. Everett Couts in 20th place, Peyton Tulloch in 21st, Adam Kulikowski in 22nd, Josh Berry taking 23rd after running up front for a lot of the night. Dakota Moniz in 24th, Ronnie Norman, difficult drive for that championship driver all the way back in 25th. Todd Slauson in 26th, Dakota Hendrickson in 27th, and Timmy Harper takes the Flight of the Night award as he had the roughest ride of the night. You saw it early in the race, difficult running for Timmy Harper. But actually, we're now going to get a chance to chat with our top drivers of the race, and here he is taking third place for the late Apex team. None other than Ryan Bird, and a fantastic run for you, Ryan, as now you hop out of the cockpit and we get a chance to chat with you. Great run up into third place. Talk us through your night and how it all went down for you.
Yeah, it went alright. I didn't quite have the speed despite what qualifying showed. I was just a touch off all night and hoping for some strategy things to work out there, but those guys are smart enough to know they needed to save fuel, so I couldn't really do much with them. We were all saving fuel, and they were just able to do it while going a little bit faster the whole run.
Well, and that was the big factor there at the end. We even heard some advanced information that some of the drivers were going to be running out there on the last lap. At what point did that become known to you? And at what point did you make your strategy call? I'm going to let off a little bit. I can't quite keep up with them. And there's only so much you can do with the full strategy run.
Yeah, I mean, when that caution came out, we all kind of groaned because we all knew it was going to be fuel saving to the end. So right there is fuel saving, shutting the car off under caution, all that. And then there are a couple more things I probably could have done to fuel save and go a little faster, but honestly, as fast as those guys were going, I didn't think they were saving. So I was like, oh, they're going to run out, and I never really made a hard charge until the last few laps to try and catch up to them, because I was sure they were just planning on another pit stop or something.
Well, and quite a few of the drivers did end up pulling in and trying to take on fuel there at the end, not believing that they were going to make it. Still, you closed it up to just 2 seconds back, and to take podium position here, Texas, first round of the round of 12 playoffs, and you take a podium, you're going to come out of here with a lot of points. That's got to feel pretty good. Still looking at a potential championship here in the NORA Cup Series.
Yeah, absolutely. Needed to stack points tonight to cover for Dega, because I'm sure that'll end in a wreck for most of us. And then the Roval, I expect to be good, but you never know. I could get wrecked and turn one lap one. You never know there. So had to stack points tonight. It's the least wild card of the round somehow.
Well, and finally, you did manage to get up there and get the top 3 positions of the second stage with all of your late Apex teammates besides Dakota Moniz. You were able to get up there and take the top 3. That's got to feel pretty good and pretty promising heading to a track like Talladega, where teamwork can really mean a lot.
Yeah, I think as a team we've been clicking pretty good the last few weeks. We were really good at the last Super Speedway, just things at the end didn't work out. And obviously Bristol and now here as a team we've been on it, so I'm looking forward to Talladega. As far as what we can control, we think we're pretty sure we'll be the best ones out there with what we can control. It's just that you don't know what'll happen at the end.
Well, certainly well done here tonight to take 3rd place, and again, it's a great preview of what might be to come for a teamwork track like Talladega coming up next, and then the Roval will be very interesting for everybody. Who would you like to thank for your run to 3rd tonight?
Thank you to all my teammates, Thompson Check, Kyle Rochelle, Dakota Moniz. Thank you to you guys for broadcasting. Thank you to the admins for putting up with all of us whiny drivers every week. And thank you to my girlfriend, Tattoos by Polly, and her studio, Orchid Moon Tattoo Studio, that's on the car every week. Thank you guys.
Absolutely our pleasure, and thank you, Ryan. Great work out there behind the wheel, and we always look forward to seeing you challenge all of these top drivers out there. We'll see you again next week at Dega. Good luck.
Thank you.
So that is Ryan Bird, driver number 49, Chevy for late Apex Racing. And Christian, I believe you've caught up with Dustin Kleba for KPR Motorsports.
Yeah, I just caught up with Dustin Kleba here. You finished 2nd. I'm sure you wanted the win here tonight, but 2nd, the best you can get. Going into Talladega and the Roval, I'm sure you're happy with 2nd because that's as good as you can get, and kind of be safe-ish for the next 2 races. So tell us how your race went tonight, and if there was anything you could have done different to get that one spot better.
Yeah, it was a pretty frustrating race. It was just real hard to get track position, and it really all started with me completely just whiffing on fuel mileage, and everyone was able to pit there in the first stage, and I had to stay out and save tires, or save fuel basically the entire time. And we got a little bit lucky there with the yellow at the end. I was able to catch up, and since I was going about half pace for 40-some laps, my tires were decently better than everybody's, so I was able to sneak through a little bit. I hate that I got into Ryan there, whatever lap that was coming to the end of the stage. I've watched the replay 100 times, and I see what he was doing, but I also had a big run and shot the gap while I could. Obviously, I'm not here to wreck anybody, and I know he's not here to throw late blocks. I think it's just a misunderstanding. I didn't see what he was going around in front of him, and he was so focused on and what's in front, he didn't see what was coming behind. So hopefully we can move on from that. Dude, the save that he made was incredible. So I'm really happy that he didn't end his night there, or I didn't end his night, or whatever you want to say. Happy he was able to bounce back and get a good 3rd place finish. But yeah, from there it was just 2nd stage. I absolutely cooked my right front tire. I just couldn't keep up with anybody. And beginning of the third stage, I felt like I had a lot of people hanging on my door on the outside, and I just couldn't get a run on the inside while still trying to save tire. And finally there at the end, I was able to get up to Vincent pretty quick, but this track is so incredibly stupidly aero dependent that once I got within a half a second, it just pushes like an absolute dump truck going into 3 and 4. 1 and 2, you can kind of meander your way around it and pick and choose your line and try and at least keep your run, but you just couldn't do anything behind him. Not to take away anything that he's doing. He's an incredible driver. He didn't make a single mistake the entire time I was behind him. So, I mean, one little slip up and I think I could have gotten around him, but he knows what he's doing. He was able to hold on, and we were that close. But like you said, good points. Talladega's never really good to me. I don't think I physically can make right turns, but we're going to try and figure out how for the Roval. But yeah, this is a good night to hopefully pad that cushion a little bit.
Well, with Talladega, I'm sure the strategy is going to try to get some teammates out there to help you, possibly see some people that we haven't seen since earlier in the season out there, just to help you have some teammates, so hopefully you're able to do that. But what's the strategy you think for Talladega? Because we've kind of talked to a few drivers so far this week, and some of them are saying hang out in the back is the safest option. The others are saying lead the race and control the race. So what's your strategy going into Talladega?
Yeah, you're right. I obviously don't have a lot of friends out there, so I'll have to recruit Cody and see if he can join me next Tuesday. And I don't know, Christian, you're a nice guy. You want to hop in a seat? You want to help me out here? No.
I was going to say, I'm hopping in the seat for the truck, so I'm already taken.
All right. Man, as far as strategy, I'll have to see how the points shake out. Ideally, you get some good stage points the first 2 stages, and then kind of at the end, you can just not worry about it and go hard. I really do think that leading is probably the best strategy, but it is obviously is also the most risky strategy. So it really just depends. Depends on points, depends on how the field is. Lately we've been having some pretty big fields, which can create a lot of yellows, but as long as guys are respectful and understand that there's other people out here that have been here all season that have an agenda, hopefully we can have a good clean race. And if I feel like everybody's racing clean, maybe we can be a little bit more aggressive and try and lead every lap. But yeah, we'll have to see. You'll have to check in with me after points come in and qualifying, and after everybody pops in, and see who's racing, because there's just so many factors to figure out a good race strategy.
Yeah, we'll try to talk with you at the first stage and see how it's going at Talladega. But again, man, congrats on second place tonight. I'm sure you'll probably be about 50 to 60 above the cutoff line, so that's a pretty good cushion going into Dega. So I wish you the best of luck there. But anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you go here tonight?
Yeah, for sure. Just my family out there, they're watching every single week. Shout out to them. I know Cody was able to pop in there last second to help me out. So always good to have him in my ear. Just appreciate Ryan not absolutely unhinging himself after our contact. Obviously he was upset, I was upset, but I think we're sitting in a good spot, so appreciate his respect, and appreciate you guys for putting on a great broadcast, and of course Josh for putting on a great league.
All right, man. Congrats again on the second place, and we'll talk to you next week at Talladega, hopefully.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
All right, Trevor. A lot of tempers that I'm hearing have been have been the main source tonight. But let's see if Vincent Arthur, if you caught up with him, if maybe he had some tempers with somebody here.
Well, and looking forward to that. And of course, also for those of you who are watching out there, if you're not already subscribed to VirtualRacing.Network and you're watching, you enjoyed this race, make sure to hit the big subscribe button. Obviously, you're not going to want to miss any more of these NORA Cup Series races. So you do the subscribe and you hit the bell. You get all these races delivered right to your inbox. You won't miss anything, including our Icon Cup Series and our NORA Truck Series playoffs are right here on VirtualRacing.Network. Also, make sure to hit that like button. We'll get this video out there to as many people in the YouTube sphere as possible. And with that, He's just coming out of the car. It's been a long road for Vincent Arthur. He had to climb just 2 positions from where he qualified, but it seems like so much more than that. Vincent, congratulations. What an amazing win here tonight. It's got to feel awesome to punch your ticket already into the next round of the playoffs.
Yeah, thank you. And it does feel absolutely wonderful. I mean, what a freaking roll we've been on. It's been absolutely crazy what we've been able to do over the past couple of weeks, and just can't thank everybody at Flatline Motorsports enough for everything that they're doing. And hopefully we'll continue this, but we get the pressure taken off for Talladega and the Roval, and we'll go out there, and we seem to be pretty decent on the plate tracks, working together as a team. And obviously I'm pretty fond of the road courses, so we'll try to gather as many playoff points as we can for the round of 8, but I just can't speak to the level that we're performing at right now. It's been really cool to be a part of.
Well, and how did it all work out for you tonight? And I mean, obviously there was calls made to stay out there and not come in and take tires early. That ended up playing out well for you. And then later on, the call to somehow work it out and be able to go across the start-finish line with fuel in hand when other drivers weren't even able to do so. You must have still found some way to save fuel behind the wheel of that machine. What were the strategy decisions like for you tonight, and how did the rest of your race play out?
Yeah, so honestly, after that first little run where we had like 5 laps, and then the caution where we pit to make it to the end of the stage, I think I was sitting like 8th or 9th, and I was actually able to work my way back through traffic on the same tires, so that gave me the confidence to know that if I did find myself back in traffic, I'd be able to work my way through. So it kind of allowed me to have a little more room in what I wanted to do. So any other time that we wanted to be a little bit aggressive in the strategy, trying to save the tire sets at the end in case we needed them, I was going to take. So yeah, just really staying in our own race. Not getting too amped up, just kind of running hard enough that we were running the pace that we needed to be able to get back to the front, but not running too hard to destroy the tires. So yeah, in that last run there, it kind of reminded me a lot of Darlington. I knew we were going to be short on fuel, but I figured it would be a little easier to get out in front and then save. So I tried to pass Tom initially, and he was racing me. He's really, really hard, really, really clean. So I'm really appreciative for him running me clean and fair. That was really good racing there. But once he got back by me, I figured I would just chill in the draft a little bit and try to save as much fuel as I could. But then I think he realized that he was in trouble with fuel, so he dropped back to me. And then once he gave me the opportunity, I figured I needed to take it then and there, because then I could control my pace from there. And after that, it was really just maintaining the gap, taking everything Kleba was giving me, and just barely making it on fuel. Yeah, it was pretty hectic, but I was able to do it. I'm not always been the greatest fuel mileage driver, but it seems to have been something that I've been getting better at as the season's gone on. So yeah, definitely all in all, really, really good night. I've been definitely ill all day, so be able to finally get out of bed and do something productive feels good. But I'm definitely going to be able to sleep well tonight knowing that I'm locked into the round of 8.
Certainly, and sorry to hear that you're suffering, but like you said, hopefully some chicken soup and having that good feeling going to bed that you're going to be locked in and you don't have to worry about it through Talladega and the Roval. That's got to feel great. Now, looking at earlier in the season, you already mentioned this tonight, but you took Auto Club. You took the win at Auto Club earlier in the season. You took it Las Vegas. You took it, of course, you dominated at Circuit of the Americas earlier in the season. And then you won also at Martinsville and Dover. Now, that was the great part of the early season. You were feeling great at that point. Then you went through a stretch of 12 races where you weren't just not winning races. It seemed like you were out of contention in a lot of these races, getting caught up in incidents. It just didn't feel like the normal Vincent Arthur out there. But as you mentioned, this run that you've been on, how about 5 wins in the last 8 races going to Vincent Arthur, going to yourself. Like you said, going now into Talladega with one of the best teams in all of NORA, if not the best team, Flatline Motorsports, a lot of team support, and then looking at the end of this championship, you just got to feel really great right now if you're Vincent Arthur.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we really hit our stride when we needed to, and I really attribute that to a lot of the mindset switch that I kind of had coming into the playoffs and right around that Michigan time when, I finally got back into victory lane of just, having the car finished where it was running and not doing too much with it. So I feel like this is a mindset that's been very, very productive for me, and I think the results have been showing that. So we got a lot of momentum. We're peaking at the right time. We have just a couple more weeks before Phoenix, so we're gonna go out here, try to get as many wins as we can, and try to cap off this championship season, hopefully.
Well, I'm pretty sure I know what started it. You came and did the commentary here in the broadcast booth for the Icon Cup Series, and then the next week you competed at Michigan in the Icon Cup Series, and then you came back and you won in NORA. So, I mean, I think it's all about VirtualRacing.Network and your connection here, but I'll let you give it credit however you want to, Vincent. Congratulations going on this storm coming forward, and I mean, again, if the rest of this playoffs is anything like the first part of this playoffs, it should be extremely exciting. Who do you want to give a shout out to for your run to victory here tonight?
Got to give a shout out to VirtualRacing.Network for getting me out of my slump, sending me back to victory lane. No, but seriously, I always really appreciate it whenever you reach out for commentary. It's always something I like being a part of. Got to thank Pepsi, Red Bull, Exalta, everybody at Flatline Motorsports, Josh Conover for putting me in this ride year over year. We were talking about my contract. I'm contracted to 2028, and there's no escape clause whatsoever. So I'll be with the team for a while, and can't thank him enough for everything he's doing on that side of things. And yeah, thank you guys for the broadcast. Thanks, Grammy, for watching. I saw your comment. Thanks, Dad, if you're watching. Mom, I know you listen to this tomorrow morning, but thank you to everybody, and we'll see you next week in Talladega.
Well, that sounds fantastic, and again, good luck with all of Flatline and all that teamwork to go on, and good luck with the rest of the season, my friend.
I appreciate it.
That is Vincent Arthur. Yeah, Christian?
Real quick, before we let Vincent go, next week, Monday, you got an opportunity to come up here in the booth if you're interested.
I will actually be behind the wheel of the number 3 truck.
Oh, well, there you go. I'll be behind the wheel as well.
If you need a pit reporter, I can definitely do that.
Well, I'll take you up on that, Vincent. I appreciate it, and that gives something else for all of the fans out there on YouTube to watch for. Both Christian and Vincent going to be tackling Dega in the trucks, so that'll be some awesome stuff. Everybody look forward to that on Monday night. Thank you so much, Vincent, for joining us, my friend. I'll see you on Monday night.
All right, I'll see you boys then.
So, Christian, that's pretty cool. Unfortunately, we lose you for the commentary on Monday night, but we'll get a chance to at least have a couple of field reporters. And in the meantime, this was one heck of a race. I mean, I don't know what more you could want if you're a fan of the NASCAR Next Gen machines or the NORA Cup Series. This is playoff action, and this is NORA Cup Series.
Yeah, this is peak performance for this league. I mean, I wasn't expecting as much drama out of this week as we got there. A couple drivers heated at each other. Texas isn't really known for that. I mean, there was an epic fight one time at Texas between Brad Keselowski and Jeff Gordon, but yeah, I guess it's kind of tempers, especially under the heat. But these guys can't necessarily feel that. But can't wait for next week to get back behind the wheel. Haven't been behind the wheel since Pocono, so excited for that. And unfortunately, I don't get to be up here in the booth, but hopefully someone's able to fill my seat next week.
I'm sure someone will, and we'll reach out to folks out there, but certainly we'll be looking forward to having a couple of great pit reporters as well, field reporters, that is. As you guys are in the cockpits, if possible, while you're in the pits, we'll reach out to you. Hey, everybody who's watching out there, we, of course, really appreciate you. Thank you so much for not only watching each and every Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday night here at VirtualRacing.Network, but subscribing. And because of you, we continue to try to do our very best to bring you the best quality, ultra high definition, surround sound, and all the goodies here. If you have any ideas, you want to leave us any comments, feel free to do so here at YouTube. We're also over in the NORA Discord. You can send us an email. It's down in the description. But we appreciate everybody watching along. We'll see you again on Sunday night for the Icon Cup Series as they continue their playoffs coming up from Talladega. You won't want to miss it. We'll see you then. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. On behalf of Christian Snyder, myself, Trevor Greenfield, and all of the NORA team, we wish you a wonderful rest of your week. Till then, have a great night. Bye-bye.